milk is really for cows, right? So stop drinking cow's milk. So you want to be healthy? Drink those other milks. So with your protein shakes, you know, part of the 30 Day and Beyond plan, it comes with vanilla, it comes with chocolate, so you can rotate. You can also mix and match your own 30 day if you don't like the plan that we have. It also comes with fiber. And fiber, you want to make sure that you go into the bathroom every day, at least 1 to 3 times a day. Not every 1 to 3 days like in the past. You got to get those toxins out your system. So if you're not doing that, fiber is great. So we do have fiber that comes with the shakes. So you can mix it in your shakes and then you'll be out the door. We have also a protein cup with a metal ball in there. You can mix your shakes and be out the door. Also with that, we have what we call fizz sticks. Fizz sticks, I know a lot of people drink a lot of coffee or you want to eat a lot of chocolate to bring yourself up to give you energy. But actually, that's not healthy for you because it drops you and then you get headache and you get tired even worse than you first started. So just top off some water bottle. It comes in these individual packages, which is citrus and pomegranate, and you just pour one in. And that's why they call it fizz sticks. See, it's fizzing. So you just shake that up and you drink it and it raises you up and keeps you with that energy throughout the day. So this is a healthier way and a more sustaining way to keep your energy up. And then also remember, with those coffees, there's a lot of creams and caramels and sugars and whipped cream and all that stuff that's unhealthy for you. So you don't need all of that extra stuff. That's extra calories. So if you look at the calorie content, it's a lot of calories. So you want to stay away from those specialty coffees like at Starbucks. Now, also, it comes with Fitz Chews. Fitz Chews is another type of fiber. And you have to be careful not to leave them out on the table for your children because they look like caramel candy. And it actually comes in caramel chocolate and it comes in lemon. So this is another healthy way to have your kids have more regular stool with fiber. But you don't want to leave it out so they overeat it because then they'll get diarrhea. And so will you if you overeat it. It tastes really good, so you have to be careful. Now, also, what comes with that pack is we call something called Digestive Plus. It also comes in individual envelopes. So you need good prebiotics to make good probiotics. So you have mostly 80% of your immune system is right here around your gut. So you want to make sure you have good probiotics there to help you with your bowels and your digestion and your immune system. So if you have a lot of weight around your abdomen, you want to get that off. That's the unhealthy fat. So I'm going to show you some exercises at the end of the show that can help you with that has helped me. Okay, also, we have herbal tea. That's all this is part of the 30 Day and Beyond plan. You also get a 30 Day and Beyond plan meal plan, and it gives you suggestions and different tips with exercise that you could also utilize to guide you on your way for your 30 Day and Beyond. Now, also we have the herbal detox tea. You know, our primary detox organs is liver and our kidneys. So this helps them to detoxify that. And also warm tea is actually good for your meals. It helps to stimulate your bowels, to get it going. So why not have something healthy to detox your liver and your kidneys as well as to ease your digestion along? And it tastes great. We also have a 7-day cleanse, which also starts you on your way to get those toxins out of your system. So that's that 30 Day and Beyond plan. Now, we also have these convenient envelopes for the protein shakes that come in chocolate and vanilla as well. Like I said, you can mix and match your own 30 Day online. We also have products for the athletes that come in envelopes as well. We have the pre-endure, like to give you what you need before you exercise. They all come in individual packages. We have the endure, and then we have the hydration packs afterwards, which is very important to make sure you stay hydrated. Okay, also remember when they say you should have about 5 to 6 servings of greens. You can also throw this in your protein shake, so then you have your greens for the day. Now, another thing that I do with my fruit is I take my berries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, and I rinse them and clean them and put them in a freezer bag. So then they stay fresh. Then you can use them whenever you need to without them going bad. So what I do is I blend them in a blender, and then I pour them in ice cube trays. So they're frozen. So you could just pop them in your tray, pop them in your cup as you go out the door. And it's just a wonderful fusion. Helps change it around for you. Now, you can also mix and match. You can mix your fruit with your vegetables, avocado, kale, and cucumber, carrots, bananas, orange apples. You can change it up to make it so it's different. So it's not the same thing. So you have a variety of stuff that you can do. Broccoli, cauliflower. You can do what you want to do in your shakes to change it up as long as it's healthy, right? You don't want to be dumping no sugar in there. You can use a little bit of honey, but don't throw sugar in there because then that offsets the convenience and that nutritional value of it being healthy, right? Because you got all that sugar. So don't throw sugar in your shakes. Also, you want to make sure when your children come home that they have a bowl of fruit and not a bowl of breads and donuts and cookies. That's not healthy for them. Those are empty calories. Fruit is another way to get great fiber for your children. Green apples have more fiber than the red apples, so I suggest you get the green apples. The other thing, you want to make sure that they're not eating too fast because we have an epidemic of obesity, even kids 5 and under. That's terrible. Parents, it's up to you. You bring the food in the house. So I want you to start eating and picking more healthy choices. There's no excuses anymore. We used to have a problem where there's not a lot of superstores in every neighborhood, right? Especially for the lower socioeconomic impact areas. But there's online shopping. There's Instacart, Amazon, Walmart. Then they deliver straight to your door. So there's no reason not to have healthy items in your home. Now, also, I wanted to let you know that Arbonne has supplemental products. They have menopausal products, support joint support. They also have another fiber, which is called Endure. It's a combination of fiber plus thiamine. If you need to kickstart that metabolism, then you can take thiamine. Thiamine helps to increase your metabolism as well. So we have that as a dual combo together. We also have the adult vitamins. We have the men and the women packs. We also have the chewable vitamins for the children. So Arbonne has things for everybody in the family, all your daily care. We have the RE9 line, which is for our older generation. When you start getting the color spots and the puffy and droopy eyes and wrinkles, this is the product line you need to get. Now, we also have it for men, so men, you're not left out. We also have the FC5 line, which is 5 fruit cells. We have mango, strawberry, carrots. All of this stuff is in this. Remember I said this pure and beneficial products. So don't let the size fool you because it doesn't have all that extra stuff that the other products put in there like crude oil. Yes, you heard me, crude oil. Because read your products, your list of ingredients. If it says petroleum byproducts, petroleum, Vaseline, or mineral oil, that's from crude oil. So why would you want that on your skin? That's like liquid saran wrap. So you don't want to do that. So read your labels and you'll see. So just because the bottle, like I stated, at Arbonne is small, don't worry about that because it lasts a long time because it's pure and beneficial ingredients. So you don't have all that extra stuff also that's clogging your pores. You need your pores. Sweat and toxins escape through your skin. So you want to keep those clean. So you want to stay away from those toxins. Also, you want to make sure it's appropriate to drink enough water, at least 64 ounces a day. You don't want to overhydrate because then it throws off the balance of your potassium and your sodium, which you need for muscle contraction and the regulation of your heart. So you don't want to start having a heart attack. So you want to make sure you don't overhydrate as well. We also have a sensitive line for skin for those who are more sensitive. Sometimes Hispanics and Asian Americans are a little bit more sensitive. So we have a sensitive line. We also have a detox line. We have a makeup line that's fully, whatever you can imagine, we have it. We have the CC cream, we have the primer, we have liquid as well as powdered foundations. We have the blush, the eyeshadows, we have the mascara, eyeliner, we have lipstick, lip gloss. I love my eyeliner. It's just perfect. Why wouldn't you want something more natural and healthy? Also for the men, as I stated, we haven't left you out. We have what you call the pre-shave because what happens is you don't want those hairs to turn into your skin, and that's what causes the bumps. So you put that on first, then you apply the shaving gel, which is fantastic and soothing. And then we have an after balm that you put on your skin after you shave, which lubricates and helps to protect your skin. So you don't get all that red, irritated skin like you do at the barbershop. And what does the barber do afterwards? He throws alcohol on your skin. And it burns, right, fellas? You know it do. So why not get something that's better for your skin? Also, I wanted to let you know, it's better to have brown products, brown rice, pastas. You even have brown tortilla shells. So there's no excuse, bread as well. Because what happens is you get those white substances and there's no nutrition value because they refine it all out so it's white. And the reason they like the white flours and ingredients because it makes it more fluffy, right? Like Krispy Kreme donuts, right? That's by white flour. So you wind up eating more because it's so light. So you have to be careful on your portions. What you can do before you eat is drink a glass of water first. You have to make sure that you slow down and don't eat too fast. Sit with your kids as well for each meal. Make sure you have your meal together. Make sure that your kids have the proper portions. Now, before we get to the portions, I want to let you know about the pinto beans as well. You know, I like to cook my beans in the crock pot when I'm doing a meal overnight, right? So then when I come home, it's ready. You have to make sure if you use pinto beans that you pot boil them for at least 10 minutes to make sure you get rid of the lectin. Lectin comes in different lentils and vegetables, and strawberries is another one. That's why I don't eat strawberries any longer. There's no way to get rid of the lectin. But if you pot boil the pinto beans for 10 minutes and then put it in your crock pot, then you're good. The lectin irritates your GI lining, and it can cause toxins to spill off into your system, and you don't want that. So you want to stay away from the lectin. Now let's talk about food servings, sizes. Now this is your plate. I know normally everybody eats like half of their plate with rice, pasta, potatoes, all of that stuff, beans, right? You should have half your plate should be vegetables. Vegetables. And for kids that are still transitioning, vegetables, fruit, fine. Half the plate though. Half. Now, those complex carbohydrates, like I said, rice, pasta, noodles, that's only a sixth of your plate. 1/6. 1/6 of your plate. Right? Now, a fourth of your plate is lean protein, like chicken, turkey. You know, the fish is excellent for you. Salmon, if you can find it, is good too. Get it on sale. Those are excellent for you, chicken. Now, if you get the beef, it's better to get grass-fed beef and make sure that you get the leanest type of product that they have, because then that's less saturated fat in the meat. So when you see that white stuff, that's fat that goes into your system, and it's very difficult to digest. So you don't want to eat that. Trim that stuff off. Take the time and trim it. Also, 1/12 of your plate should be your healthy fats, like your guacamole, your almond butter, and cashew butter. That's only 1/12 of your plate. Now, I want to teach you guys something about bowls. You know, bowls, it's like 3/4 of the bowl is rice. And what did I just say? Rice and all pasta and all that should only be 1/12 of your plate. Excuse me, 1/6 of your plate. So if 3/4 of this is rice, you're already messed up the calorie intake for what you should be taking for serving sizes. Now, there is some restaurants that will have the wheat, but you have to request wheat rice or they won't give it to you, okay? So you want to make sure it's not enough. Then they slap on a little bit of chicken and a little bit of vegetables on the top, right? Okay, this is what the bowl, let me show you about the bowl. Now look, this is a normal plate, and it's hard for me to put them all out here because it's too much food. Look at that. You're talking about 3-4 stories high. That's way too much food for a kid, and it's way too much for you as well. So you want to stay away from those bowls with 3/4 of that being rice. See if you can ask for more vegetables, and especially more vegetables instead of all the rice. So be careful with the bowls when you think that's a cure-all, parents. And again, there's an epidemic of obesity. So parents, it's very important when the kids come home, you give them a healthy snack. You also keep them away from those hot Cheetos. That causes a lot of extra pounds and kids eat too much of that. You want to sit with them. If they're already overweight, they need to eat their fruit instead of drinking their fruit. And if you do give them fruit, make sure it's only 4 ounces per day and make sure it's diluted, okay, in order to transition them. You need to sit with them as well, and you need to slow down because it takes the body, the brain, time to tell the stomach is full, and that's proven research. So slow down. Don't eat so fast. You wind up doing like you wind up eating like 2 to 3 times more than what you should eat. Okay, so slow down. Now, also, we're going to talk about the coronavirus, which is impacting everybody. So I'm going to give you some updates. I started discussing it last week, and this week is for updates because it's forever changing. And I put the show together last night. So the dates, the numbers that I'm going to provide to you are going to be changed. It's going to be different because it's a whole nother day. And sometimes the results change per hour. So just know that this was as of last night. Now, most of my information I got from the CDC website was the Center of Disease Control and Prevention. Also, the updated numbers, I retrieved that from the World Old Media webpage. Now, I'm going to just do it like a little summary right quick to let you know what the coronavirus is. Now, this is what they call a new coronavirus because we already had 2 existing viruses. We had the SARS that's been here for years, which is severe acute respiratory syndrome. We also had MERS, which is the Middle Eastern respiratory syndrome. Now, the reason the coronavirus, they call it novel coronavirus because it's new. So it's a new strand of coronavirus. Now, they also state that it originated from bats. Yes, bats. They're over there trying to, we had to test the different animals to see who's transferring the virus. And now they figure it's been transferred from bats. Now, in China, at first they thought the virus, because that's where it started from Wuhan City, China, right? In the province over there in China. And first they thought it was from live seafood markets and live animal markets, right? Suggesting that it was from animal to people. But now, since the spread continues, they know it has to be people to people or person to person spread. And it's from it's airborne and probably aerosol, meaning it's fine, minute particles that are in the air. Okay, because it's growing rapidly, and they find that it's not only from people who were over in some of those affected countries or with somebody exposed to somebody who actually had it. People are getting them within the community. Now, so that's the latest with that. Now, I want to give you some current updates on the numbers, the totals. We have 105,994 cases. We have 3,570 deaths. This is international wide, mostly over in the eastern side where it started in China. But we do have some now in the United States. We also have 76 of those are new deaths. We have active cases, 43,794. And we have some that are seriously or critically ill, is 6,259. And that's why every day and sometimes by the hour, the numbers change. Now, there is a plus. We have 58,630 different patients that have recovered. But that's still, we have a long way to go. Now, this has impacted 102 different countries and territories around the world and international. Now, we also had it with the Diamond Princess cruise ship. You guys remember that? That was in Yokohama, Japan, where they were impacted with the virus and they had to wait 14 days. So now there's a question about the incubation period. Some say 2 to 14 days you can get exposed and you can have it. Sometimes you can have symptoms and don't have symptoms and you have the coronavirus. So it's still forever changing. But mainly now it's people to people, person to person. Now, between people who are in close contact with another, within the 6 feet. Because you want to be, if someone's coughing, you want to make sure that if you're sick, stay home, because you could be making someone more potentially give them the virus that they don't need to be a virus. Because sometimes the people who are carrying it, they have a higher immune system and they're able to fight it, but you may have a weaker one, so you may get it. So if you see people coughing and sneezing and have fever, they should stay home. Now, respiratory droplets are produced whenever you sneeze and you cough. Now, the latest information are saying that you can also get those small particles when you exhale. So just breathing out, you can pass on this virus, and talking. That's the latest thing. So I just wanted you to know that. So keep your distance 6 feet. Now, it's not yet known how long it remains infectious in the air. Like if I cough it, okay, and you follow after me, we don't know how long it will stay there. So then if you walk in there unprotected, you could get that. So you want to make sure you keep your distance. So they're still working on it. Remember, this is forever evolving. Before you enter a room without protection, make sure you know where you're going, or behind someone you know that's sick. So before you go to a person's home, is anybody there sick? If they're sick, well, I just want to respectfully decline. Let me know when you're not sick. So you have to be careful, and you got to state those kind of things. People at work, even us. I had to tell her she had to go home twice. Now, she should know better. Now, you should also make sure that it's also with contact, because if they're sneezing and coughing and even exhaling and talking, it may drop on a couch or a counter or a chair or a doorknob. You want to make sure that's clean. And that's why they tell you not to touch your eyes, your nose, and your mouth, because you can touch that and then put it in your eyes, nose, and mouth. So you don't want to do that either. You want to keep surfaces clean. Now, and also they said to, have the same respect for your dogs, because they have found some dogs who have the coronavirus on their nose, on the outside of the nose, but it hasn't entered the nose. I don't know how that didn't happen, but this is what's happening. So, and I'm sure that's going to keep changing and evolving. Now, some of the spread of the virus has been when you're not sick. People who thought that most contagious when the symptoms, when they're sick. But some spread might be possible because people, they don't show symptoms, like I said it before. And the coronavirus, as I said, it keeps evolving, but it keeps spreading. So we know it's airborne now. So if people are telling you it's not, it is. Okay, spread from contact of infected surfaces and objects, like I told you about. When people cough and touch things, they wipe their nose and they turn on the doorknobs and things like that. You want to make sure if you touch those areas, you make sure you have your waterless soap. It has to be at least 60 to 95% alcohol, or go wash your hands with soap and water. The waterless soap is only if you don't have access to soap and water. And then when you get somewhere, then please make sure that you wash your hands with soap and water. Now, there's dangers that's been going on with healthcare providers like myself, doctors, nurses, housekeepers, LVNs, aides, all these people who are in the hospital setting, helping people, because we're at the hot spots, right? We're right there when patients come in. Either they don't know or they do, because they have to be tested if they have symptoms, if they have travel to those different areas. So this is what's going on. In the LA Times on March the 2nd, by Sumaya Carla Mela, the first evidence that the virus was circulating in the U.S. came from last week, when a patient at the UC Davis Medical Center in Sacramento was diagnosed with the virus and hadn't traveled to any of the affected communities or close contact with anyone who had it. That patient was exposed dozens of times in hundreds of people. So other people got exposed because of that, because their CDC was only looking at guidelines for people who was actually in those travel regions and had symptoms, or you around someone who have symptoms. They weren't looking at, oh, you didn't travel there, Well, now they have to look at that because now it's coming into communities where they didn't have any of that exposure. So now we have to increase our safety measures. So the ones that are not treated and recommended that they might have coronavirus precautions several days, and they tell you to self-quarantine. If you think you have symptoms like cough, sneeze, runny nose, shortness of breath. Now, if you get shortness of breath, you need to go in. But what you should do is call first before you go in so they can prepare for you. If you do have a surgical mask, please put that on before you arrive to the medical facility. Now, at UC Davis Medical Center, 124 nurses and other staff members have been asked to stay home of possible exposure to that patient, according to the State Nurses Union. Before being transferred to UC Davis, the patient had been admitted to North Bay Vika Valley Hospital in Vikaville. You guys saw that on the news about those nursing home victims that several of them have died. Now, on Sunday, officials announced that 2 workers at the Sonoma County facility had the coronavirus. This underscores the challenging environment that healthcare workers everywhere face because they're getting this spread into this communicable disease, including COVID, which is the same thing as coronavirus. They say COVID-19, which is coronavirus disease, and it was started in 2019, so that's why it's -19. Now, Dr. Bella Metias, the health officer in Seminole County, said that in this statement, some healthcare workers are questioning the recommendation precautions as cases mount nationwide. Meaning it's spreading and you haven't even traveled to those regions. The CDC advises that all health personnel who are interacted with infected patients wear gowns, gloves, goggles, and PPE, which is personal protective equipment. Now we're finding out that for more protection, if you actually have it and you're working with those clients, you should have an N95. Those are for healthcare providers at the site. Now, but you see, San Francisco nurse Maureen Dugan worries that the level of protection is not sufficient given how little is known about the virus. And like I said, it's forever evolving, the knowledge. That leaves parts of our face potentially and our neck, and we feel available exposure because your neck is not covered. That's what she's referring to. The gowns only cover from your shoulders and down in your back, right? But your neck is not covered. She said, we believe in the precautionary principle. You should use the highest level of personal protective equipment. CDC recommends if you become sick, call ahead so that the facility can minimize the exposure of the respiratory pathogens. Once you arrive, the staff will provide you with a surgical mask if you don't have one, especially if you're coughing, sneezing, runny nose, and you have the shortness of breath. So what the nurses are saying is that we think that we should have the ultimate personal protective equipment, like the N95 mask. And we know now there's a shortage of that, as well as a shortage of the coronavirus testing analysis, those different products. So there's a shortage in that as well. If a patient is arriving via like if you arrive in an ambulance, then that MS personnel will call ahead at the hospital to let them know that you're coming. So that's what's going to happen when you're in an environment. What happens after you arrive to the facility, they will place you in a single room with the door closed, greater than 6 feet away from other patients. So I'm telling you this so you don't get offended, but this is the precautions that we have to take. If you're out in the public and someone's coughing and sneezing, make sure you stay at least 6 feet away from them. That's your safety range, at least 6 feet or greater, okay? So this is in perspective to keep everybody else safe that comes into the emergency room or the hospital. If you're in a hospital, you're going to be in an isolated room with negative pressure, 12 times an hour. Those are all special precaution rooms right there once you're diagnosed. So you will be in a single room. There have been several whistleblowers about the increased number of healthcare personnel developing the coronavirus and several dying. So we already know that when it first started in China, there's several doctors over there and nurses that have died. So as I stated, as it keeps growing every day by day, you learn more and more, and you have to use more and more precaution. I just feel bad that those particular persons have died. Also, they were saying that there's a lack of training for medical care personnel, including housekeeping. And remember, I said anybody who's in that area, housekeeping is very crucial as well, because they're the ones who keep it sterile and do the cleaning. Now, they have to have the N95 masks and be properly have the personal protective gear as well, meaning gowns, goggles, masks, gloves. You have to have all of that, okay? So that's for everyone. And they're stirring it up because they're cleaning and rubbing it, right? All the appropriate PET, that must be done. And there's been delays. Another problem is delay in testing for the coronavirus because they didn't meet the basic criteria, right? Where you were at a travel area where the coronavirus was. You didn't have close contact with anybody who actually had the virus, but now people are getting the coronavirus without that. So there's delays in testing, and what happens after the quarantine of 14 days, because some of them weren't tested, then they develop it, and then other people develop it. So, I'll be glad, like I said, it's evolving, and I'll be glad when they really get on the ball with this. So evaluation criteria differ from CDC and are intended to prioritize the coronavirus testing and setting a limit with local testing capacity. Now, there's another one that started in LA County. I think they're going to move to every state because it's just way too many people getting the outbreak. So we need more help. Now, this is how you can protect yourself. There is currently no vaccine to prevent the coronavirus. There's no real treatment for the coronavirus either. So what they do is what we call supportive symptoms, meaning whatever symptoms you have, they're going to try to treat that. If you get a pneumonia, they're going to give you antibiotic. So whatever it may be, that's what they treat. There's no real treatment at this time. They're working on the vaccine, so hopefully it'll be more shorter than a year that they're projecting. Okay, so the best way of preventing illness is being exposed to the virus. However, CDC, for you, I would, unessential travel, planes, boats, cars with a bunch of people, I would just put that on hold because you have to be within 6 feet, remember? Now, also, you have to make sure people that are around you, they're using the proper respiratory etiquette. Meaning, if you're coughing or sneezing, you cough in your elbow, right side inside your elbow, not your hands, because that's what's touching things. So that's not appropriate. Inside the elbow, or if you have a tissue, and cover your mouth and cough in there, and then you throw it away, and then you wash your hands. So if people are around you and they're not using the proper respiratory etiquette, you need to step up and say, hey, you need to use the proper respiratory etiquette. Cough inside your elbow or use a tissue, right? You want to make sure that you avoid touching your eyes, your nose, and your mouth. Stay at home when you're sick. Cover your cough and sneeze, like I said, with a tissue, then you throw it away. Throw it in the trash, and then you wash your hands. Clean and disinfect frequently touch items and surface uses a regular household cleaning spray or wipe. So doorknobs, toilet flushers, really, especially doorknobs to bathrooms. You want to really make sure you wash your hand after you use the bathroom. I can't believe even to this day, I have observed women use the bathroom and don't wash their hands. That is just really nasty. So make sure after you use the bathroom, you wash your hands. Men, you as well. You guys typically, some of you don't wash your hands. Wash your hands because you're putting your germs on that doorknob when you touch it. Make sure you follow the CDC guidelines. Using a face mask. They say it's not recommended for you to wear the surgical mask. Surgical masks are mainly, which is this mask. This is a surgical mask. And you see a lot of people wearing these. China's been wearing it for years, but they still have the spread of the coronavirus, right? Right. So this is not really going to help you that much. I mean, if you feel comfortable and you're going out and you want to wear it, that's up to you to wear it. But if you know someone who actually has the coronavirus, then you want to make sure you have the N95 or you stay away from them. So we're going to have the N95 for as healthcare providers because we have to make sure there's a closure. See? So no air will get into us. That's why the N95s are important for the medical staff. Now, the surgical staff, the surgical mask, this is made really, the purpose of it was in surgery. So when you're in surgery, to make sure that you keep the environment sterile. So if you cough or sneeze, you don't contaminate it. So the surgical mask is to protect the wearer from their self, right? The N95 mask is to protect you from everybody else. That's the difference. Okay, so I wanted you to know the difference. So the N95 mask, it fits your face. So it will help prevent small particles, aerosol, what we call, to get into your mask. If you have on a surgical mask, it won't fit around your face. There's open areas there. So the aerosol can fit and get into your mask. That's the difference. Now, they do tell people to wear the mask if they start having symptoms, right? That's if you're coughing, sneezing, because that's to prevent you from spreading your germs to everybody else, right? So if you do have symptoms, you need to wear the surgical mask. You need to call your doctor or the ER ahead of time and let them know what your symptoms are. They're going to, of course, ask you about your travel. If you've been to any of those countries, they're going to ask you these questions. So just be patient and answer the questions so they'll know how to properly take care of you and their cells. Wash your hands often, as I said, for at least 20 seconds or more. For your children, sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Make sure they're washing the back of their hands, in between their fingers, in their fingernails. Teach them the right hand washing etiquette, okay? So that they make sure that they are safe. Now, especially after going to the bathroom, before eating, because why? You're putting your hands in your mouth, right? So you want to make sure you keep your hands out of your eyes, your nose, and your mouth. And I have a habit of rubbing my eyes, so I have to be careful with that. Now, if soap and water are not available, then you have to use the waterless soap. You know, it has to be at least 60 to 95%. And you do the same thing you do with the waterless soap as you would do with regular soap. You want to make sure you get all areas, especially fingernails. A lot of germs stay in fingernails. So that's why a lot of times you see the nurses in the hospital, they have to have short fingernails for that particular reason. Avoid crowds. You know, you want to make sure that you stay safe. Plenty of rest, and you want to make sure you eat healthy. So you want to make sure you get plenty of rest, because if you don't have enough rest, it impacts your immune system. Eat healthy, vegetables, you know, the same serving sizes I recommended for you, and that will help you stay safe. Don't panic, just take the precautions. Okay, so I'll see you in a few minutes, and then we'll go over the easy motion exercises. I know you told me a story. Okay, hi everybody and welcome back. Now I'm going to teach you some exercises I call easy motion so you can exercise, so there's no excuse not to exercise. You can exercise while you're lying, sitting, and standing. So I'm going to give you options. So this is for sit-ups. If you're not used to doing sit-ups, put your back up against the arm of your couch or at the back of your headboard, and then just reach. Make sure you always hold your tummy in when you're doing your exercises, and work your arms. Okay, then when you get more used to it, you can slide down, right? And then you can slide down even more, right? Hold your abs in and work your arms. Now, another one that I do now is I include my legs. So I go up, I slide my legs up at the same time. So that gives you more exercises because you're engaging your thighs, and you have your arms, you have your abs. Okay? So that's another one you can do as well. Now, to continue on the floor, okay, now for the floor, you can use resistant bands to assist you if you're not used to exercising yet. You can put it under your feet, and you can help pull your leg up, right? So you can help lift it until you get strong enough. And then if you are strong enough, then you just do, remember you got to do both sides. Always hold your ab in. And then you do 2 together. Always hold your ab in. You can always do your arms with you so that you're exercising your arms, right? Now, you can also open up for this inner thigh. And what I usually do is 3 sets of 5s or 3 sets of 10s. It depends on where you are when you exercise, okay? So for the inner thigh, you open your legs and just open and close. This is for that inner fat here, right? So you want to get rid of that. Now, you can also lift a little bit off the ground, but remember, always hold your ab in. So you can lift and close. And then you can get higher when you get stronger, right? Okay. Then you can do the scissors in the air. Always holding your gut and keep your back on the ground. It's very important, right? Okay. Now, another one you can do that's for the thighs is bend your knees and open and close. It's the same principle, right? And it does work. It does work. Now, if you want to, like you have back problems like me, you want to stretch it out, you can take one leg and move it to the side. If you can't go all the way, go where you can go, right? Until you can get it down, right? But you want to keep this one straight. And then you do the other side. Same thing, right? And you can hold it there, and that stretches your back. It's actually feels good when you do that. Now, then you can double it, both legs. If you can't go all the way, you go where you can go, and then you go to the side, right? This is a good one to stretch too. Stretch your back to hold here. At the end of your workout, this is a good one to stretch your back out. You know, if your back is hurting, you can stretch your back doing this, right? And remember, everything is for both sides. So do it on both sides. Now, another thing you can do is you can lift. You can lift one at a time if you're not strong enough, right? Or then you can lift both. Now, it's better if you can lift, hold it, and do it slow while you're going and hold. And remember, keep your tummy tight. That causes more resistance. Now, you can do the same thing with the lifts. You can lift wherever you can go, low, medium, high, right? Do both. Then you can do them together. Low, medium, high. So you get all the way, right? But what's important is that you hold your ab in while you're doing it. And the slower you control it, the more resistant. So this is when you get a little bit more advanced. Go slowly. And then hold it slowly while you're going down. Okay, that gives you more strength. Now, you can get another resistant band and tie it. Put it just above your knees, right? Maybe about 5 inches. You lay on your side. And this one you have to make sure that you roll your hip forward. So the way I remember to do that is to put my arm forward, right? And then you can just lift. Hold your ab in. You can lift, or you can do 3 sets of 10 or 3 sets of 5, depending on where you are. And then you can straighten your leg. You can hold it, and you can go up and down. 3 sets of 5 or 10. And then remember, make sure that hip is rolled over, because then you want to go to the back and do the same thing. You can hold it or you can move it. Okay? And then you want to do that on both sides. Now, another one you can do is slightly bend one of your legs, and you can straighten the other one out and just lift, right? Without the elastic band. And that's for the inner thigh right here. That's what this is for. It also helps the top of your thigh. And remember, you got to do it on both sides, right? Okay. Now, there's another one I like to do. You turn over on your back, and what you're going to do is you're going to raise your heels up. So if you can't go all the way, Go where you can go until you get higher, right? Now, if you have knee problems that's bothering you, then you can do it low. Stop before you start affecting your knees, right? Okay, that's good for that back fat and the buttocks, right? Those, it's good for the back of the thighs, those moon craters. Yeah, that looks ugly. That's what this is good for. Okay. Now, you can also do like plantars. You know, you can do girl sit-ups, push-ups rather, and you can push down and raise yourself up. You can do that, right? You need a slower, causes more resistance, and you can go back up slow. So you can do those as well. That's for your arms. You can do those. Okay? Now, let's get into some standing. Remember to stay hydrated. Okay. So now we're going to do some standing exercises. So what I want you to do is strengthen your core. So your core is right here, your abs, your thighs, and your buttocks. That's what holds your balance, right? So until you get used to it, make sure you have something to hold on to. And I want you to stand for at least 30 seconds on one leg. Now, it may take you a while because it took me a while, right? So you just do that and you stand and you should be able to hold your balance for at least 30 seconds, right? Now, it's harder for me on the right because I have torn meniscus that is going to be repaired, but I still try and I still got to try to keep my core, right? So that's one way you can do that. Now, when you stand into, you can do those side leg lifts. So you can lift up and then make sure you're doing it on both sides. So you start where you can start. Always hold that ab in whenever you're doing your exercises, right? Now, what I want to show you is there's several things you can do. Oh, before that, let me show you a good one that's really beneficial. So in the mornings, you can always do calf lifts. My son corrected me, I was wrong. So for the calf lifts, you want to make sure you're lifting up, right? And it activates that calf muscle. So you can do this while you're brushing your teeth. So depending on how fast you go, you can do anywhere from 100 to 80 in the morning. So that's good for your ankles, your calves, and your feet, top part of your feet. So this is a good one you can do in the morning while you're brushing your teeth. So there's no excuse not to do that one, right? Okay, good. Now, there's another one you can do. You can do squats. Now, you have to make sure that your feet are far apart, and you want to make sure you stick your butt out when you're going down to remove that pressure off your knees. So I'm going to do it from the side so you can see. So, and then you're going to hold your arms out. So you want to make sure it's like you're sitting down. So stick your butt out to do your squat and come back. It takes that pressure off your knee. So put your butt back and squat down. Okay? So that makes it easier for you to do that. Okay? So again, you're going to this is when you stick your butt out. Take your pressure off your knees. So you stick it out and go down. When you get used to it, you get more automatic with it. Okay? All right. So now you can always do marches. You know, you can start low, then you can go high. Same thing with your arms. You can have weights. If you don't have weights, you can use bottled water, right? You can do this while you're watching TV. So it's no excuse not to do that. So another thing I want to show you, I call these standing sit-ups because you're going down. Now, if you have back problems, you got to make sure you do it slowly so you don't get back spasms, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to go where you can go, whether it's to your knee or to your calf, to your ankle, top of your feet, or to the floor. So, but remember, go slowly. Hold your abdomen as you're going. And this is a good exercise at the end as well, to hold this here for like 30 seconds. It also stretches your back out. So then you want to mix it up. Go to the side, right? Same principle. Whether it's to your knee, to your calf, ankle, top of foot, or on the ground. But you want to go slowly. Go to the middle. And go to the other side. That's if you have back problems. If you don't have any back problems, you don't have to worry about it. But you go slow if you have back problems, right? So those are sit-ups. So those are things you can do. Now, let's do some things that we can do sitting. Now, okay, so now we're sitting. Run your TV with the Power or whatever your favorite show may be, superheroes, Supergirl and the Flash. You can do these same lifts. You can do them individual. I call them marches because you're doing both and you're doing it at a rapid pace, right? And then you can do them together or you can do them single. It's up to you. But these are other exercises you could do. While we're here, we can do the same thing for these inner thighs. Open up. You just open. And you're just going to be opening and closing. And remember that Stairmaster thing in the past? They would put that here and you would have to open and close it. It's the same principle, but it's not as hard, right? Because it had a resistance to it. This is just you being the resistance, right? Now, let's do chair sit-ups. Same principle, but it's at a shorter distance. So if you have back problems, you can do it in the chair or you can do it couch or the bed. So it's the same principle. You go to the floor. Now if you can't reach the floor, then you do the same thing. Your calves, your ankles, and your feet. So if you can't get to it because your belly's in the way, then that's fine. Just keep doing what you can do. The most important thing is to get going, right? So you're doing down the middle, and then the same thing, you're going to go to the side. Now, you don't want to turn to the side because you're defeating the purpose. You want your body to go to the side so you can engage those muscles, okay? So you don't want the chair to do it. You need to do the work, right? Okay, so then you could do leg lifts. Remember, you always want to keep that ab, hold it in, you want to engage it. Right? And then you can do what I call little lifts, meaning both together, so you can lift together. Hold your abdomen, keep your back to the chair. If you're on the floor, keep your back on the floor and lift. And then you can go higher, right? When you get more advanced, go a little higher, right? What this is about is actually moving. Our bodies are meant to move, so we have to move them, right? Now, another thing you can do your scissors, right? Or your abdomen, do your scissors. You can do like 3 or 4 point lifts, meaning you're going to lift up, straighten out, lift up, and put it down. Lift up, straighten out, lift up, and put it down. So there's a lot of different things you can do. Right? A lot of different things you can do. So when you're doing your marches, you can be doing this, working your arms. If you need to have that support because of your shoulders, depending on the weight, you want to support your arms on your armrest while you're doing your marches or while you're doing your lifts. It's up to you, but this helps to get you going, right? Now, another thing you can do for your arms, I have shoulder restrictions, so I can't lift my arms all the way. So I can lift like right here, and then I go straight. This is for the back of that arm. So you don't have that flabby meat, right? Hanging and wagging in the wind, right? That's what that's for. Now, you can also work your arms. Get another little resistive band, tie it in the middle. You can put it on your wrist. Put one hand palm down on one knee, and you can lift with the other one, right? Just raise it up, right? And then vice versa, you can do the same thing to lift. Now, you can also hold your arms out and stretch it apart. You can hold it for, like 5 sets of 3s or 3 sets of 10s, and you can bring it back. And then hold it, and hold it, and then you can bring it back. Now, if your muscles are hurting you, or like your shoulders, you can rest it on the armrest, and then you can pull it apart doing the same thing. Hold it, and then let it back. You can pull it apart, let it, hold it there, and then let it go. So these are other exercises you can do for your arms if you have limitations. Remember the female push-ups. You can do those too. It helps your arms a lot. It also helps your abs, and it helps your buttocks and your thighs. So it works a lot when you do push-ups. Okay, so you can do that. Now, let's get into my new little trusty buddy. Now, they have different versions of this. It's a little pepper. The newer versions have like a whole footrest here for you. Those are the new versions. I saw those online. This has a speedometer on it, so it tells you how many steps you did. So you put your feet in here. And if you have knee problems, then you want to push back further. If you don't have any knee problems, then you can have it closer to you. So it depends on what kind of exercise you want to do, whether you want to do it in a relaxing state, or if you move it closer, then you work in this way. So it just depends on what your limitations are and if your knee is bothering you or not. If you have knee problems and pain, then you want to stretch it out so you're not bringing your leg up so high, right? So then you push it out more. So if you're still having problems or pains, then push it out more. So then it's not causing you the pain. I have a full-torn meniscus and I'm still pedaling. Because when I don't pedal, I swell and it gets more painful. So you just have to keep moving. Now, what I want to remind you about is the coronavirus. You have to protect yourself. You have to make sure that you're staying at least 6 feet away from anybody who's coughing or sneezing. And remember, now they said even talking or exhaling. Like, you take air that's inhaling, you breathe out is exhaling. So they can exhale particles into the air from breathing and from talking. So it's not only cough and sneeze, runny nose, fever. Now there's research that says you can exhale it out in smaller particles, or when you talk, you can talk it and spray it. So depending on the person, because some have more saliva than others, right? They call them waterloo because they got a lot of spit that comes out. So you want to make sure that if you know someone's sick, stay away from them. Tell them to go home. Tell your supervisor, let them direct them. Make sure people are using the proper respiratory etiquette when you see them. Meaning, if they're coughing and sneezing, they should have a tissue, cough or sneeze in the tissue, and throw it away and then wash their hands. Or they can cough and sneeze inside their elbow, right? Not their hands, because those hands now are going to transfer the germs to the doorknob, to different surfaces. So you want to make sure if someone's coughing and using their hand, it's not appropriate anymore. It hasn't been for several years now. They have to either coughing and sneezing in the tissue, runny nose, or they cough in their elbow, right? If they're not practicing the right respiratory etiquette, then you shouldn't be around them. Stay away from them. If they're sick or you're sick, stay home. You don't want to make everybody else sick. Some people's immune system are different than others. They're saying the ones who have passed or died, they are older and they have multiple disease processes like lung problems, heart problems, diabetes. So if you know you're in one of those categories, you definitely need to start exercising. You need to eat healthy. You need to stay away from crowds, and you need to stay away from people at least 6 feet because you're more susceptible. So I want you to be mindful of that. If you live with someone who has it, then that person should basically isolate themselves in one room. That makes it difficult, especially if there's a loved one, but you might want to get some N95 masks to put those on if that person is in your house. Okay, so that's different because that's a loved one, but you still have to protect yourself to ensure that you don't get it. Now, there's people who have the coronavirus that don't have symptoms yet. They can still pass it on. So you have to really be careful. If people are sneezing, coughing, runny nose, fever, not feeling good even, then you know something's going on with them. You have to make sure you call your doctor or the ER ahead of time to let them know that you have the symptoms before you get there, because they have to prepare for you. So they have to make sure you have a surgical mask when you first come in, if you're in the process of being evaluated. Then they ask you questions about your travel and if you have exposure to someone who has the coronavirus. Then it goes from there. But they will give you a mask and they'll put you in a room with a closed door and keep you at least 6 feet from all the other patients in the ER. So I just want you to know that this is going to happen. But this is what you need to do to protect yourself and everybody else. Okay? So let them know. Now, it's also spreading in the community. So that means it's more airborne than they thought it was, which to us nurses, we thought that makes sense. Because why else is it spreading so quickly? So that means when they cough or sneeze, they're coughing it in the air. There's no research at this time that says how long it stays in the air, meaning aerosol, right? Small particles in the air. There's no research that says how long. So we don't know yet. So if you go behind someone who did that, you can breathe those fine mists in, and then you can get the coronavirus. So if you know someone's sneezing or whatever, don't go in the room. Spray some Lysol, get out of there, protect yourself. But it is airborne. There's not just people who are coughing on you. It's in our air now because it's spreading too much. So you want to stop, any unessential travel in an airplane or ship. As you can see, there's been many ships that have come in and have been held up because they tested positive for the coronavirus. Then everybody has to be quarantined. Now, if you're under a medical quarantine because of the requirements, then your job has to pay you for those 14 days. So don't not report it because you're worried about your income. Your job is supposed to cover you for those 14 days. So be honest so then everybody can stay protected. Now, we do have a shortage on the N95 masks, which are these. These are the ones that fit your face and that protect you from those small aerosol particles. So these we have to be test fitted for these for the medical personnel. So when you come into the hospital and you do have it, then you will see us with this mask on. You'll be in the isolation room once you're fully diagnosed. We'll have goggles, we'll have the mask, we'll have the gown, and we'll have the gloves. Now we're working on considering the full gown because our necks are exposed. So just know that this is forever evolving, but I just want you to know how to protect yourself. Wash your hands frequently. Don't touch your eyes, your nose, or your mouth. Make sure you wash your hands before you do any of that. Especially if you're out in the public, going to the bathroom, touching doorknobs, even surfaces like counters. Because if someone is coughing and sneezing, it could get on the counter. And then you go back and you touch it and you touch your eyes, nose, and mouth, then you can get it. And they said it may even be there for up to like 12 hours. So we're not sure yet. So just be on the safe side. And if you touch surfaces, make sure you wash your hands before you touch your eyes, nose, and mouth. make sure you keep your fingers out of your mouth. Your fingers are nasty as well. So the kids are biting their fingernails or whatever. Tell them not to do that. Wash their hands. Okay, especially at school. Teach your kids how to sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star to make sure they're washing their hands at least 20 seconds or more. So you want the whole entire friction. You want to in between. You want to wash the back of your hands as well and have short fingernails. That's why nurses have short fingernails, because there's a lot of microorganisms that hide in fingernails. So nurses in the hospital have short fingernails for that reason. So make sure you're cleaning your fingernails as well. And you're not drinking after people or eating after people. You don't want to do that because you don't know if they have the coronavirus. It affects different people differently. So don't matter. Don't judge that by that. Everybody's different. Just like that husband and wife team that was on the boat, the diamond boat. The husband got it, but the wife didn't. But he has medical issues. So that could be why he got it and she didn't. So you just have to be careful. You have to know your restrictions and you have to follow them. Now, I also don't want you to be going up to Asian population and harassing them or attacking them. They're here. It's not their fault. So that's illegal. As you can see, Gloria Allred was on the news with a kid that was in middle school that got harassed because he was Asian and they told him he had the coronavirus. Every Asian doesn't have the coronavirus. So it's still illegal to not harass people because of that. Just take care of yourself. And I wanted to prepare you so if you did have it, then you know what to expect when you come to the ER or a doctor's office. But always, always, please call them ahead of time and let them know what your symptoms are to prevent exposure to other patients and employees. Because remember, the nurses and doctors and all of us, we're on the front line. We're receiving you guys and helping you guys. So just be honest, tell the truth, and you don't get any repercussions from this. I mean, you're not going to be arrested, so just be honest and tell the truth. We're trying to figure out how this virus works. So the more information you can provide to your doctors, the better it be for all of us. Because remember, it's still evolving. So you have to be honest. It's a shame that the officials are asking nurses to reuse masks and they're not available. We need to have the appropriate mask available for the medical staff, the N95. We need to also have the proper testing, diagnostic equipment for the test for the coronavirus, because we have a shortage of that and we have a shortage of the N95 masks. So I just want you to know that. And so just be as honest as you can when you have your symptoms. If you feel sick, stay home. Don't go to work and spread it around with everybody else. Stay home. Watch your symptoms. If you have the runny nose, the coughing, the sneezing, the fever, and you're short of breath, especially when you're short of breath, then you need to call your doctor, let your doctor know what's going on. If you have to call 911, let them know what's going on so they can prepare for you. That's the most important thing. They can prepare to protect you as well as themselves. So you just have to be honest with what's going on with your symptoms. If you're asked to stay home for 14 days and you get worse, then you have to call your doctor back, let your doctor know what's going on, and your doctor will direct you from there. You shouldn't just walk into the ER. If you do call 911 and a family member is there with you, have them give the information if you're having difficulty speaking. Don't wait until it's too late. If you have symptoms, start monitoring them. If you have to write them down, write them down. So then you can be honest with the doctors or EMS or the nurses or whoever is taking care of you, so then they can take care of you. Hopefully by Tuesday we should have enough tests available, and that's what the CDC said. So hopefully, and then we can stop delaying testing for healthcare providers that are exposed to it already and are having symptoms and they never had to travel. So they're on a waiting list. They give them a number in order for them to be tested. So hopefully we'll have enough testing kits available so that everybody who has a symptom can be tested eventually. That's what we want. That's the only way we can really truly figure out what's going on with this virus, because everybody's history is different. Now we have community issues where there's no travel exposure, there's no exposure to someone who has the virus. It's just all of a sudden you get it. Okay, so that's a problem. So we need to watch it. So be honest. Be a great historian. Tell the truth. No one's going to get in trouble. So be honest. Be honest with your family. Be honest with your friends. If you have symptoms, stay home. Okay? Make sure you washing your hands frequently. Don't touch your eyes, your nose, or your mouth, because that is getting the virus into your system. Now it's fine aerosol, so you can walk into a mist. We don't know how long that mist is staying active. We're still working on that. So, surgical masks were made to protect yourself from contaminating everything else, right? So initially, you will get a surgical mask if you have symptoms and come into the doctor's office or ER. The N95 masks, usually the healthcare providers will have these once we have you under investigation in the hospital, and if you go into isolation, then you will see us all fully geared up. But that's to protect us, and we're still going to take care of you. We're nurses, right? We're going to take care of you. So you don't have to worry about that. We will take care of you. So watch your children as well, because they're, especially the ones that can't communicate well, you have to watch them. Get you some thermometers. Make sure you're taking their temperature as well and tracking their symptoms. And before you take your child in, let the provider know what's going on with your child as well as yourself. We want everybody to stay healthy, and we're trying to prevent as many new cases as possible, and deaths. Now, considering the number of cases we have already, over 105,000 worldwide and international, because of the incubation period, I'm pretty sure we're going to have more. So, as I stated to you earlier, the numbers I presented to you earlier, it has changed. So that was last night. Sometimes the numbers change from hour to hour. So I don't want you to panic, because it's not necessary, but I want you to know how to take care of yourself. So the better hygiene etiquette that you practice, meaning washing your hands, waterless soap, don't touch your eyes, nose, and mouth, the better and safer you will be. Now, if you see someone who's not practicing good respiratory etiquette, meaning cough or sneeze in a tissue, throw it away, wash their hands. Coughing in their inner elbow, not in their hands, that's not proper respiratory etiquette. You have the right to remind them, hey, you need to cough in a tissue or inside of your elbow. And if they're coughing, they shouldn't be at work. So you need to protect yourself. No, if it's not essential, then don't travel. Don't travel, because it's getting more airborne and aerosol right now. That's how it gets in the community, because people are not traveling to China or the other countries that were impacted. They don't have someone in their home that has the coronavirus. And then be mindful that you can have the coronavirus and not have symptoms yet. That's the incubation period, anywhere from 2 to 14 days. So that's why I really didn't understand why they let the people on the boat out, because it was new. They should have held them for a little bit longer, because the day after, when they released them, they developed the symptoms. So we don't know what the incubation period is, but I guarantee you it's not 14 days. It's more than that, because we have proven history where the ones that was on the boat quarantine, when they released, they got the virus. Okay, so stay safe. And if you want to contact me, you can contact me at markeita.com, markeita.com. You can also contact me at healthyliving.company. There, if you missed a live show, you can go and watch the previous shows. Also, you can reach me here at the Next Levels Studios at 310-549-1113, 310-549-1113. 1113. The producer of the show is T-Jams. That's TJAMZ. And you can reach him at tjamsmusic.com. There he has a list of songs you can write lyrics to, send him messages. He also does web design. So you can also reach him here at the studios at 310-549-1113. So stay safe, everybody. Follow the instructions I gave you. Eat healthy and get enough rest. Okay, I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye.